All right, so let's talk about speed training today. So what I get is a lot of parents will contact me about speed training for their child, and the amount of information they have on speed training is limited, which is fine. They're parents; they're not strength and conditioning coaches. They've seen maybe what some of their fellow parents have put their kids into, what they're doing with them. And let's make it very clear right off the bat. If you're dealing with a kid in their preteens or teens, it's very difficult to screw a kid up. Success comes very easily with just a little bit of training. Getting them stronger is not that hard of a task. It's when they get older and get more advanced is when that becomes harder and harder. So you shouldn't worry about putting your student athlete into a program that is, worse than one or better than the other. No matter what they're in, as long as they're moving, as long as they're training, they're going to get better. Now, what we can talk about is better ways to make that happen. So, what you don't want to do is negate the weight training part of this altogether. So I had a parent message me the other day wanting to get his daughter into speed training, and he said, well, I see that you only do strength and conditioning. Do you also do speed work? And when I hear that, it's like fingernails on the blackboard, because everything we do is speed work.
Right.
So when you started football and training through football, maybe talk a little bit about the training we did and how it got you faster, and any changes you noticed, coming up through there.
I think for a lot of athletes and parents, what they want to consider is they're doing a lot of the running, drill work, rope ladders, agility drills at practice already. So we're not going to do that here, right? They're already getting that work in. So you need to look at what are you not doing that can also get you faster. And the best way to do that is raising your absolute strength, just basically meaning get stronger.
Yeah.
And the way that we did that through high school with you, Judd's program, and training with you again now, we do a lot of max effort lifts. You got to work that maximum end range of your strength. And then, so we do max effort twice a week, upper body, lower body. And then I do 2 dynamic effort days. I do lower body on Thursday, which is normally some sort of box squat with bands and deadlifts occasionally. And then speed work on Friday with bench, bands, combination bands and chains to accommodate resistance. But you have to look at speed training as an equation. So force equals mass times acceleration, right? So you can either apply more force by getting stronger, or you can look at the mass part of it, and losing weight may actually even be beneficial to getting faster. If you can lose an extra 5 pounds and maintain your force output, then you're gonna get faster.
Yeah, and ideally, what you'd like to see is, if you're dealing with an athlete, is that they gain significant muscle weight and get faster. Mm-hmm. And I like to test that with the vertical jump. So if the body weight goes up and the vertical jump goes up, it's a win-win situation.
Right.
If the body weight stays the same and the vertical jump goes up, then I consider that a tie. If the body weight stays the same or goes down or gets higher and the vertical jump goes down, we've lost. So ideally, the best thing to do when you're training speed athletes and to test that is the body weight going up and it's good solid body weight, and is the vertical jump getting higher? If that happens, we're going to move faster no matter what. You talked about the rope ladders and the agility drills, and we get that a lot, people asking about that stuff. No, we don't do any of that stuff. And the reason for that is a lot of the research we've done. So, Poliquin is a big influence of mine, and he talks about your agility being pretty much set in stone by age 12. So unless you're getting a really young kid in, doing these agility drills, running through rope ladders, doing all this speed work stuff for the feet, it's all useless. You're just wasting your time. You're better off working the body, getting stronger, and improving the vertical jump. You get really good at those drills. So if a kid comes in and he's shitty at the rope ladder, lo and behold, within 2 months, he's great at the rope ladder. It's a very simple movement to master, and they just keep getting faster and faster and faster. It does not necessarily mean you're going to move faster on the track or the field. And when you look at high-level sprinters, I've read a lot of Charlie Francis. There's not anything in any of Charlie Francis's work about speed ladders or cone drills or any of this shit. He jumped his guys, he sprinted his guys, he lifted his guys, and that was it. Getting them in shape, improving their max strength. That's why sprinters look so jacked. It's why they take steroids. They have to get stronger in order to move faster.
Yeah.
And that's one thing that I would love for parents to understand is don't fall for these big giant gyms that have all this speed and agility training, because it's a waste of your time for the majority of your athletes.
Yeah, and going back to the sprint work, what you were just talking about jumping and lifting weights, is in order to be faster, you need to apply force through the ground. So movements like jumping and squatting, deadlifting, where you're applying force to the ground, is really good for sprinters to do.
Yeah.
Because you're not going to apply more force to the ground by getting more foot touches in.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So that's another factor. Like I was saying before, you need to look at what you're not doing.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, we do strength conditioning here. We don't do rope ladders. Well, that's what you freaking need, because you're not doing it.
Yeah, and the majority of the athletes we get in the junior high and high school level are extremely weak. They have no posterior chain at all. So, their upper back, their lower back, their glutes, their hamstrings are all really undeveloped. It's really hard to increase your speed if you have no musculature supporting that. You can't put any more force into the ground. So it's very easy to bring those areas up if we're allowed to do it. Now, being a parent myself, I know sometimes it's hard, but you have to be able to put your faith in the hands of an expert. I don't go to a barbershop and put my kid in the chair and then ask the barber to cut the hair the way I want it cut.
Right.
I take faith in the fact that the barber has known what he's doing, and he's been in business for 20 years and understands how to cut hair. So I just say, hey, this is what I would like a result to be, and then the barber gets me to that result. Don't go into a speed training situation and give advice to the trainer on how they should train. Stay in your lane, do your thing. And if you don't trust the trainer, you should find one that you do trust. It's not, there's no shortage of strength and conditioning professionals out there. There's a shortage of good ones, but there's no shortage of people that will do exactly what you want with their athlete. You may not get the same results, but they're out there. That being said, if I were to get in a high-level athlete, so a kid, you're looking at, when I say high-level athlete, you're looking at collegiate and beyond, and they're looking to drop time off their 40. Again, I'm not going to run them through a sprint ladder. I'm not going to do much running with them. I'm going to get them in better shape. I'm going to improve their hamstrings. I'm going to improve their lower back. I'm going to improve their glutes. I'm going to train the core. I'm going to work a lot of jumping. I'm going to try to burn some excess body fat off them, and all those things are going to increase speed.
Right.
There's no rope ladders in our gym. There's no. I think there is some cones out there, but we're not going to be running through them.
Yeah.
And that stuff is fine when you're working. Drills for football. That's the kind of things you should be doing in a football.
Right, when it's sports specific to the position that you're playing.
Right. Or soccer, change of direction stuff is great. But you also don't want to overdo that. So if you're doing that on the field with your soccer team and then expect to come in here and do it again, at the very least you're going to stagnate. You're not going to improve. Especially with kids that have been in soccer since they're 4 or 5 years old, they've done these drills a million times. You know, there's nothing new here. Your best bet is to get them stronger.
Right. So before we end this, I just want to bring this up. I forget who I was talking to the other day. They were talking to me about their kid's soccer game, and they said that there's a parent in the stands yelling at their kid, "Run faster!"
Yeah.
Run faster.
I'm sure that'll work. Like, the kid hasn't thought of that.
And like the kid hasn't thought of that
Right.
already. The kid's trying to run as fast as he can. He just can't. So don't yell at your kid to run faster. Get him in here. Get him stronger.
Get them in the gym. Yep, absolutely. All right, and then Scott,